What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. It's episode 610. We are presented by TickPick.com. Use that promo code capital OSHOW20 for $20 off your next order. We got the Super Bowl in Arizona in a few weeks, Eagles Chiefs. We got the Waste Management Open, Phoenix Open, and the PGA as well. We typically have UFC events. I know you fought at the Footprint Center back in May last year. Yep. I was walking into I'm friends with Justin Gaethje's cousin, so he got us cage side seats. It was Gaethje versus Oliveira, the pay-per-view. Yeah. And as I was walking in, your hand was getting raised for a unanimous decision. So I'm like, that's how I know her when they connected us. I'm like, that'll be fun. So thank you so much, Tracy Cortez, for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Phoenix, born and raised.
Yeah.
We're talking about natives earlier. Yeah. Very few.
There's not a lot of natives here natives meaning like born and raised here.
Exactly.
And even then, my family's not originally even from the States. My parents are both immigrants from Mexico. Came here, this is the first day. We lived in the projects, we lived in apartments, got a house and so on. And here I am now.
And you've stayed all of these years, but you guys travel obviously all over the place too. You fought in Phoenix, you fought in Vegas, you were in Vegas yesterday with Brad Lee, and now you're back today.
Yep.
Do you like doing interviews? Are they making you do interviews?
They're making me.
Yeah.
They're making me do interviews. No, but I do enjoy it. I am a workaholic.
Yeah.
I love to be productive. I love to get things done. Like this morning I worked out, or I came in from Vegas last night, woke up super early this morning, worked out. Here, later today, I have a photo shoot. Then I have to go get my car checked up because I got I don't even know,
that's
the little
working that nobody
signal
likes.
line. I don't even know what those signal lines mean. I called a lot. I was like, hey, I have this little red thing coming up on my dash.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, just bring it in.
That's work that nobody likes.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of the same way, trying to better myself every single day with everything that you're doing.
Yes.
Let alone certain fight campaigns and training regimens you have to do. That's one thing when you're getting ready for something.
Yeah.
But the branding, the marketing, getting your name out there, you actually enjoy all of that stuff too.
I do. I'm super fatigued, but I do enjoy it. I love it. It's something that I worked extremely hard to be where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
It's like I can't complain for having too much on my plate. Mm-hmm. When I didn't have anything, I was crying for something,
Exactly.
So I really do enjoy the grind.
Just be careful what you ask for because you might just get it.
Exactly.
You get everything that comes with it.
And some. Yeah.
And some.
So now it's, all right, I've been busy, I've been productive. Come on the 2nd, I go on a little vacation for quite a few days, a girls' trip, come back and just get back to work.
Because that's going to be a crazy week in Phoenix. So you're leaving that week when the Waste Management comes, Super Bowl media all over the place.
Barrett Jackson's here too.
Barrett Jackson's here.
Scottsdale. Oh my God, traffic is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Traffic in Scottsdale is insane right now. Beautiful cars. Beautiful cars.
Unbelievable.
But traffic is just,
Yeah.
My God.
Are you doing any interviews during that week? Because I'm sure that's going to be a crazy week for media and appearances.
No, nothing right now. Nothing. I'm doing one little job a day.
Yeah.
Just something a day, and everything else as far as work, meaning training, that's just mandatory.
Yeah.
So
just focus one thing at a time, baby steps.
Yeah.
We were talking literally right before we hit record. You're a UFC fighter.
Yeah.
Mixed martial arts, but you don't enjoy the sport? I don't understand how that works.
No. Not that I don't enjoy the sport. I'm just not a fan of the sport.
I guess that's a little bit different. Please explain that a little bit more.
So I'm not one, unless it's, so stylistically, because I know the sport, I know technique, I know, people see someone on the ground grappling and they start booing because they're bored.
Yeah.
I, on the other hand, understand what's about to happen. So I'm just waiting, and it's like the anticipation, right? But unless I know it's two good IQ fighters, high IQ fighters, I don't really get excited much to watch fights just because I'm in it all the time.
Yeah.
Right? Or unless it's someone in my division, meaning any flyweight that's fighting on any card, I'll go watch the fights just to study my division. But aside from that, you ask me to give you a name of someone in the UFC. I mean, I can't think of just one on top of my head. Mm-hmm. I mean, I might think of a few, but I wouldn't know their what division, what weight class they fight in. I
I mean, I feel like
I'm
that
kind of in my own lane.
Yeah, a lot of people go through that where it's like athletes just like if you played 20 years playing professional baseball, for example, like you're not going to go and watch every game
Yeah.
after a while. It's like I did that for a living.
Yeah.
You know, like I do podcasts and broadcasts for a living. It's like I don't like turning on games and hearing stuff because I know what goes behind on the scenes and everything
and
in between.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just one of those things where it's like, call me, I don't know. Some people will be like, oh my God, you're crazy. You know who that is? I don't care who that is.
Exactly.
I don't care who that is. Or I know who this person is because they're good people and they treated me with nothing but respect, and I appreciate that. But anybody else that I just don't personally know or haven't got the chance to know, I don't really pay much like attention to them, you know?
It's like at the end of the day, they're just a human being.
Exactly.
Like there's so many people who are like, oh, you've talked to this person and that person. I'm like, I guess it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
but like,
exactly.
I don't really look at it that way.
Yeah, and that's how that's just my, you know, like lens with life. And I don't know, I love being how I am. And I love when I just run into people, a UFC fighter, any female or male, and it's like, hey, and it's like, you know, your art is amazing, but I know you for who you are, and I think that's dope.
Yeah, and that's good on you for knowing that, especially because your brother is the one who got you into it, right?
Yeah. My oldest brother, he passed away. That's his name.
That's him right there. Is he wearing a Yankee hat in that?
He is. So
fantastic.
I know. Yeah, so he was going through chemo here. I get a lot of shit for this. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
I get a lot of shit for this because they're like, oh my gosh, she has a UFC tattoo on her. And I got this when my brother passed away, right? This was his favorite shirt. I still have it. And this was his hat because he lost his hair and he was going through chemo. Mm-hmm. And this was his last vacation, and he was healthy at the time. And that was like the last time I saw him healthy and happy.
Yeah.
So it's very meaningful to me. And at the time when I first got it, it was really, really nice. Obviously, it's outdated now compared to something like this, my mom. But it's just my brother. Mm-hmm. My brother that got me and the rest of my siblings into wrestling and fighting. And
did you have any plans at the age of 14 before you fell in love with the sport?
Hell no.
No?
I never in a million years would think that I'll be fighting right now. Ever. I didn't even know what I was going to do with my life. After my brother passed away, I was just so lost in the world. Mm-hmm. I was lost. And then I remember my dad asked one of the coaches, at the time it was called the Lions Den.
Yeah.
And NFL player owned it. His name was Scott Peters. And I believe he played for the Cardinals. I can't remember exactly. But Scott was really close with my brother. And they did this whole fundraiser. At the time, it was called Fight Your Way Out. And it was just, they kind of did me the favor. They allowed me to go in. They allowed me to train for free because I was just a teenager.
Yeah.
Some years went by. I started rebelling a little bit. And my dad kicked me out when I was 17. And I kind of just been on my own ever since. And turned 18, had my first amateur fight. Knocked a girl out in like 34 seconds. And then it like the rush, it kind of it just stuck, and I loved it, and I stuck with it, and I didn't even believe I was gonna be here right now.
So you had a great first experience then.
I did.
In your first fight.
But my pro debut, God, I lost, and it haunts me till this day. But I was, I was young, and I lost against I think at the time she was like a purple belt, which is pretty high in the rankings of jiu-jitsu. And she got me in a guillotine. And I didn't know how to get out of it. I was fighting for Invicta, my pro debut. And that was my first and only loss.
And that's tough to get out of your pro debut going down. It's like, now I really have to work my way back. Because wins and losses are the real deal.
And it's one of those things where after the loss, I kind of just sat on the couch and my family was there and everybody was quiet. Like, how is she taking this? And for a moment, I thought to myself, like, oh, I'm not good enough for the sport. Like, I just had a taste of what I'm about to get into. And for a moment, I didn't think I was good enough. And I think, I thank God and for the people around me because they really believed in me at the time when I didn't even believe in myself.
What were you doing specifically, if you want to share, between the ages of 14 and 17 when you referred to that as rebelling?
Rebelling. I not even 14. I think I was younger. And my dad says it to this day. He was like, you were by far just the worst child in all.
Were you the youngest?
I was the youngest and the only female. I grew up with all
Three
men.
older brothers.
Yes, all men. So having a traditional Hispanic background, both parents are Mexicans. They're like, your ass deserves to be your ass it needs to be in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
You need to cook, clean, and we'll be back. We're gonna go do sports and wrestle, and I just kind of would sit there like, well, why can't I be with them? You know, I didn't understand, and at the time, it wasn't normal for a female to be in a, you know, it's such a physical sport. So I started rebelling. I want to say maybe in 7th grade. I started smoking weed, doing drugs. I was ditching school. I was hanging out just with the wrong people.
Yeah.
Hanging out with a horrible crowd of people. I was getting like drive-bys, getting shot at. Right here, just not far from here in Maryville, which is just a horrible side of town.
No joke, yeah.
And honestly, those ages are such a big blur to me, because I don't know, it was just a blur. I just know that I was like finding any little outlet to block what was going on, which is I was seeing my brother die through chemo, radiation, all that's bone marrow transplants, like, and I was just, my brothers had the wrestling as an outlet, and I was just school, and then I had to go straight home. Mm-hmm. And I was kind of just stuck there. And that was me rebelling, you know. They were seeing, my parents were, now that I'm older and I'm seeing just, you know, I'm putting myself in their shoes, where it's like, damn, I feel bad for my parents. Like, I put them through some shit. They were seeing their son die.
Yeah.
Their other 2 kids, my brothers, were going through it. They were sad and depressed. And then me, I'm over here just throwing my life away.
Yeah.
So now looking back, I feel horrible, and I apologize to my dad. But that was me rebelling.
What did your other 2 brothers do?
So one, he works just a normal job. Mm-hmm. You know, he lives in Phoenix, actually not far from here. And my other brother also fights.
Does he?
Yeah,
wow. So 3 out of the 4 got into it. Mm-hmm. Why didn't the one brother not get into it?
He likes looking good.
Yeah, that's fair.
He likes putting on a suit and tie and his nice shoes and his dope ass watch, and he just goes to work.
But isn't there something about like seeing someone in a post-fight press conference wearing a suit and tie, looking great, and like having a black eye after a win?
You know, I don't know if it goes the same for a female, but you know.
I know, right?
Yeah.
What was the worst you ever got roughed up in a fight? Because the first time you get roughed up, you're like, oh man, you're probably thinking like, this is the real deal. This is not the negative side of this, but this is the rough side of this, as opposed to the thrilling side of me knocking someone's teeth in and really making good money being a fighter.
One that I can think of, I don't think I got. It's not even that beat. I didn't get too beat up. Yeah. But the worst one I would say would be the Contender Series. I went in there and I was like, I need to prove a point. This is gonna be my UFC contract. I gotta throw down, make a statement that I belong here, right? And I kind of just went in there just like a little gangster. I was like, let's go, and we were just throwing down, and my coaches were like, no, what are you doing? Keep your hands up. And it was just the adrenaline. Like, it's such a good. Me personally, it's an amazing feeling being in there. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like me and you, and nothing in the world matters right now.
So there was like no part about you that when you first got into it, because the training is unbelievably difficult. Yeah. The conditioning, unbelievably difficult, to the point where it's like, I can't go any further, and it's like, oh, we're just getting started. Yeah. Like, was that difficult at first, that learning curve?
You know what? As time goes by, the first camp that I've ever experienced was so hard. I mean, I couldn't even get out of the couch in the morning. My bed in the morning. Yeah. And then I'll go home, I'll nap like on my couch or something, and I'm just like, oh my God, I can't go to another practice. I still managed to make it. I don't know how. But now I look back from my training, how I used to train compared to now, it's just insanely different. Now I want to say that I train harder, but I also train a lot smarter. Yeah. You know, I have science behind it. I have different hours of the days, and I wear my Aura ring that helps me track my sleep. So if I'm too beat up for, say, tomorrow, it tracks, okay, she needs to recover, because if she trains too hard right now, it's kind of pointless.
Yeah.
And they work my nutrition around that day rather than what they thought it was going to be. So it's insane.
Now, are you, like, when it comes to, like, eating regimen, training regimen, the entire coaching team that you're surrounding yourself with, does it all depend on who you're fighting, what the regimen's going to be? Because everybody else has their strengths and weaknesses, like opponents, like speed, striking, grappling, jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. No, everything plays a part, If I were, say, to be fighting a striker, and I know we're going to be keeping it on our feet, they're going to really make sure that they get that lactic acid out of my arms, and they just work me. If they know I'm fighting a grappler or a wrestler, it's okay, let's get your wrestling, cardio up. And they kind of just work around whatever opponent it is that I'm going to end up fighting.
Yeah.
So, man. It's intense.
And there was no part of you early on that said, like, obviously, this is cool. I saw Jose do this. I want to get into this. There was no part of you that wanted to back out at any point.
Never. I don't know, man. I just feel like there's a calling, and some people are going to call me crazy for this, right? But I do feel like there's a calling in me where I can't stop.
Yeah. Crazy is a good thing.
I can't stop. I mean, I wake up and I go on a fasted run. It's just like something in me where it's, if I don't do this, somebody that I'm going to compete with is doing it. And now I'm one under.
Yeah.
They have one up on me. And I refuse to be outworked. Like, when I tell I'm a workaholic, I make sure when I step in that cage that there's no ghost meaning I could have, I should have.
Yeah.
I should have ran, or I should have done this better. I should have like, there's no ghost behind me. I make sure that when I go in there, I am 110% prepared.
Yeah. No always. Excuses at the end of the day.
No excuses at the
100%, 110% prepared. You can look back at it and be like, I did everything I had to do.
Exactly. Because if not, the fighting game, it's you win and you jump up, but you lose and you come way down.
Exactly. Wins and losses are very important.
Yeah, and I'm number 13 in the world right now, and if I lose my next one, I could go back down to 18, 16, But if I win, now I'm top 10. Mm-hmm. And it's just, we put way too much energy. But me personally, it's more, maybe because I'm a woman, I don't know. Every camp is very emotional.
Yeah.
It's very emotional. It like takes a piece of me. As crazy as it sounds.
Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Like,
I don't know.
From my perspective, it's like every experience you're having is worth it. Like, you look back at it and be like, I will forever remember this.
Yeah.
But for both good, bad, indifferent, whatever, as opposed to living and working a normal job and going through, like, the daily routines of just... Like, that works for some people, but for you, I feel like you want to be the best at what you do and do it in a way that's never been done before, that people can be like, she's a badass. Like, Tracy's a badass in what she's doing, as opposed to anything else. Yeah,
it's perspective, where I know some fighters that they say, man, this is too hard. I'd rather go get a regular job. Yeah. Which is fine. I'm no one to judge them. I respect that. But me personally, it's when there was a point where I had 3 jobs. I had a retail job, I had a front desk job, and then I was coaching at the gym. Yeah. And I remember I hated my life so bad. Mm-hmm. And any little moment I had to go train or to go for a run, I'll go do it. And then I'll rush back to work and then back to work. And so from a young age, I've always had to work extremely hard because my parents had kicked me out. Mm-hmm. But now... Like I think, I don't know if we were on air earlier, but I was saying, like, at the time when I had nothing on my plate, I was just crying to be where I'm at now. So now that I am where I'm at and I'm working, it's literally a 24-hour job. Mm-hmm. Entrepreneurship, being an athlete, it's a 24-hour job. It's not a 9-to-5 where, all right, well, now I have the rest of the day off. Exactly. It's, okay, it's 9:45, I didn't get a run in, let me go get my 3-mile run in. Mm-hmm. And I'm not done until 10:30. Mm-hmm. So I would rather be doing what I'm doing now than how I was living. And again, there's nothing wrong with living an average life. No. But I just want more,
Yeah, some people prefer it that way. Some don't. Yeah. I personally don't understand people who can just like clock in and clock out and be like, okay, I'm not working right now. I'm just sitting on the couch watching TV, whatever. It's like, oh, like, no, I'm not working right now. Like, I'll have friends be like, hey, can you like take care of this for me? Or like, let's get this partnership started. They're like, we can talk about it on Monday when I clock in. I'm like, why can't we talk about it right now?
Yeah, and
why are we wasting time?
And I'm so blessed with the people that I have around me. You know, I don't think I've ever gave my circle enough credit.
Yeah.
Because they have helped me be where I'm at. And that my tribe is like, not only are they wanting more for themselves, they want more for me. Mm-hmm. You know, they're not taking from me. They're giving me, and they're advising me, and they're helping me, and it's just, and vice versa. Yeah. Whatever I could give to my friends that are also wanting more in life. If you look at my people, I don't have people that are lazy in my life. I don't have people that are just sitting around waiting for life, for something good to happen. You know, my people are going after it. And if it's not someone that's where I'm at, they're aiming to be where I'm at.
Exactly.
And I don't mind that. I don't mind having those friends. Or I have other friends that are beyond successful, that where I'm trying to be, and they're helping me, you know? So I just have a great group of people around me. Mm-hmm. And I think ultimately that's what it is. It's you know, my mom told me at a young age, and I didn't believe it at the time, but it's like, you are who you hang out with.
Yeah. It really is true. Like, you can deny it all you want. Like, I think you can get to a certain point hanging around I don't want to call them the wrong group of people, but like friends that don't necessarily do what you do and operate the way you operate. You can get away with being successful. It's just very difficult not being around that same environment with the same vibe all the time. Because if you are around that same vibe with other people all the time, your work's going to grow exponentially in just a short amount of time, as opposed to like being around people who don't necessarily know what you do, you know? Like, they're not against you. They support what you do, but like, they don't really get it, nor do they take the time to get it.
Yeah, you know, and I have friends where they'll hit me up on a weekend and they'll say, hey, Tracy, like, let's step out tonight. And I'll be so tired because it was Saturday night, and I had trained 3 hours Saturday morning. I'm like, no, you know, I'm way too tired to even go and do anything tonight. And certain friends that I had at the time would judge me for it. Like, stop training so hard. It's just training, where they didn't understand. No, my training is my job. You know? And now I have friends where, oh, you're tired? Oh, that's cool. Like, we can just hang out and watch a movie. Mm-hmm. And I'm just so grateful for my friends, because I'm a social butterfly. Yeah. I love having a great time. I love being out with my friends. I love being around good people, good energy, you know? Like, I thrive off that. I don't want to say I'm like an introvert. Is that what it is? Introvert? Extrovert?
I think you're extroverted.
Extrovert?
Yeah.
Is that like where you social?
Extrovert is when you're a social butterfly.
Yes.
Yeah. Introvert is when you're like in your shell.
Yeah, I don't think I'm a total extrovert, but because around like strangers, I'm just like quiet, and I stay very much to myself. But around my people, like, only they get to see like the real me.
That's because they like vibe with who you are, as opposed to people don't quite understand it. You kind of like get closed off when you don't get that reaction you wanted, or if you guys just don't click, right?
Yeah, it's just I don't know what it is, but for me to be my true authentic self, it like I have to vibe with you, you know, and that's ultimately what it is.
So do you go out often with your friends? When it makes sense.
I used to, you know, when I was early 20s, I used to be a little party animal. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I'm Latina. I love to dance. If I'm out in the club or partying and someone's like, hey, let's dance, I will not say no. I say, let's go dance, man. And I mean like dance. I don't mean like just grinding. No. Yeah. I mean like good
actual dancing.
Yeah, just dancing.
Grinding isn't dancing.
That's not dancing. I love to dance and have a good time. And then at the end of it, give someone a hug. Thank you. That was great. And I'm just on my way.
That's sweet. That's really nice. I'm Irish, so I don't like dancing. I'm the guy in the corner, like, just don't look at me. You like to drink. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
What do you drink?
I like Guinness, of course. Mm-hmm. I like Jack Daniels, Jim Beam. Yeah. Big liquor guy. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I just had a guy in here. His name's Justin Cross. He owns a company called Earn Your Booze and Earn It All. Okay. and he went to brewery school at San Diego State University.
Okay.
So I can get it out of the box here. So he brews his own. This is called the Dead Hanger Pale Ale. So he brews his own beer.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I'll leave it up to you if you want to have some on the show.
Oh my God.
Are you training?
You know what? I don't drink beer.
Do you really?
I don't drink beer
either, but I'm definitely gonna try this out just because he gave it to me.
Yeah, I'm not a big beer person. If I were to drink a beer, it would be a michelada.
Those are really good.
Oh, those are so good.
What about sorry, you liquor too then?
I'm a big tequila person.
Yeah.
Tequila. My friends make fun of me because they're like, dude, tequila's her love language. It's it's the Mexican in me.
Yeah.
I just like I remember I used to do this thing where I would go live on IG.
Yeah.
And they knew Saturday Night Live.
Right.
And I would put my phone down. They'll be like, and I'll go live with my fans because I just love connecting with my fans. My fans are amazing, and they already had their bottles ready. Like, let's take a shot, and I'll take a shot with my fans. And eventually, my friends will be like, "Okay, you're getting a little too fucked up," and then they'll turn off the live, and I'll be just sitting there like, "Holy shit, I drank a little bit too much."
Oh, jeez.
But that's the least I can do for my fans.
Yeah.
It makes their day. I get to speak to them. They tell me like, hey, you know what? They just tell me the most beautiful thing, and at the end of it, I'll say, hey, you know what? Like, shots to that, man. And I'll take like a little tequila shot. All right, thank you. I gotta go on to the next.
Just like a comment.
And I just talk to my fans on like, you know what? But I stopped because let me tell you what happened. I was in the East Coast. I was in Chicago, and I went live on IG, and I accepted someone's request.
Yeah.
And they just full on had their penis out.
Yeah.
Just like this.
That'll happen.
I know. I was just.
Do you often accept people's requests? Like you were doing
prior
that?
to that,
Yeah.
yes. Prior to that, I show my fans love. Like anything I can do to give back to my fans, because my fans ride hard for me.
Yeah.
I've seen some people's like their comment section with the people that follow them, and it's just ruthless. Like, damn, I can't stand social media. Like, people are just mean. Mm-hmm. But then you go to my comments and people are just so amazing. I don't know why. I have no idea why, but people are just so amazing. My fans are so supportive. And then if there's just always that one motherfucker.
One guy.
You know what I mean?
Ruins everything.
Just a total asshole. And then my fans I don't even have to say nothing. They defend me.
Yeah.
Which is kind of dope.
In that moment where they all in the comment section, like, come on,
yes,
dude.
And it's just a thread of, you effing loser. And they're defending me. It's kind of cool.
How much time was he on screen before you kicked him off?
I couldn't get off of the
Oh, that sucks.
I was on my
like
phone.
you're just stuck.
And I was like, oh my God, how do I? And I tried to hide my face. I was like, how the hell do I get off of this? And I couldn't get off. And there's just the freaking just penis on the screen.
Brutal.
And you just see like my little eye just trying to get off. It was horrible.
So many immature men out there. What are you going to do?
Oh, yeah. It was crazy.
What are you going to do with us? That's what was that one site? Omegle? You know what I'm talking about, right?
What is it?
It was like, what was it? It was like a dating website, but nobody used it. It was like the pre-Twitter or Tinder. It was like where like you go online and you video chat with people. Yeah. This was like in like the mid 2000s.
Oh, you know what? I see it on TikTok.
Yeah.
I've seen that on TikTok. It's like OME.
Yes.
Something.
Yep.
I've seen some guy do it. He like went viral for it.
I'm sure.
But I've never been on like a dating app.
Really?
I've never been on a dating app. I don't even know how. I don't even know. Well, besides Tinder, because I hear people all the time on Tinder, but I've never been on a dating app. I don't even know.
Are you still with Brian?
No.
Damn. I tend to do that a lot. This is not the first time I've done that where I'm like, how's the boyfriend or girlfriend? They're like,
It's okay. You know, it's a fresh breakup. We just broke up not that long ago.
Okay.
And, but it wasn't like anything like. What are like those mean breakups?
Yeah.
It
was cordial.
Yeah, it was cordial. It was a cordial breakup. We both knew that.
Ran its course.
Yeah. Like, he's very focused on his career. He had his shoulder surgery.
Yeah. He
had to focus on being there for his kids and just getting better. And he's going through a lot.
Yeah.
And me, I'm at the peak of, not the peak. I'm starting, a good run in my career. And we just know that we need to focus on ourselves right now. And that's kind of where we left off. And
that's good. You come from the same place of like, especially being in the same line of work too. And understanding that balance of what we need to do in our lives right now. Like he's going through stuff that he needs to, whether it be like rehabbing the shoulder or dealing with family issues, and you looking to get to that next step in your career. It's like these are our goals, and I'm not going to let anything else prioritize that.
And that's something beautiful that I think we both also talked about in the beginning, where it was like, yo, our careers come first.
Yeah.
I am extremely focused in my career, and he is as well. So it was just a mutual understanding from the beginning. And I have nothing but love and respect for him. Yeah.
So, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, switching gears, people. I don't want to talk about this too much because I don't want to put you in an awkward situation. Like when it comes, like I guess on the subject of relationships, whether that be friendships or something intimate, you're looking, I feel like, for someone to really understand what you do. Like we talk about certain vibes. Yeah. Like does it have to be someone that necessarily does what you do, or someone who just understands your schedule?
You mean like just to build a relationship, like a friend? It doesn't like
just relationship in general, friendship.
Yeah, whatever. A lot of people, my current friends. I'm gonna speak on my current friends. For example, my best friend, Gary. Mm-hmm. He's we go weeks sometimes without talking because he understands that my lifestyle. I'm traveling, I'm here, I'm there. I'm here right now. After this, I'm going to go do a photo shoot. So they don't get mad when I do show up, But a lot of my friends, my relationships that I do have, they are also, I don't want to say in the same sport, but they're also into fitness. Mm-hmm. So if I were to call, I can call up anyone right now and say, hey, let's go work out. Yeah, let's go. I'm like, all right. Or, hey, let's go catch a drink.
Yeah.
All right, let's go, But yeah, if I ever do meet a new friend, I would definitely go off of just vibes at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I have a pretty good judge of character.
Yeah, you should know pretty quickly, especially when interacting with your fans on Instagram Live.
Yeah, they show, their penis rather than their face.
Yeah. So you're not training at all right now?
I am. Yeah, I am a little bit. I was training this morning.
Like training just because it's like a part of your repertoire at this point, yes. But like not training specifically
like
for
camp.
a fight.
No, nothing right now. Nothing right now. Right now, it's kind of just getting myself back on a structured schedule.
Yeah.
And then getting myself healthy, physically, mentally, emotionally, and just getting in the right state of mind. Yeah. Because camp does take a toll, and I don't want to speak for all fighters, but for the most part, it does take a toll spiritually, mentally on us. You know, like fuck, we get hit for a living, mm-hmm. And some of us don't get paid enough to do it. A lot of fighters don't, and fighting is a rough sport.
Yeah, I kind of like goes back to because people who know the sport, people who do it for a living, and people who kind of follow the sport know that unless you're the top, I want to say top 5 in your ranking in your weight class,
not even
in your
that.
division.
Not even the top 5 get paid a lot. That's crazy.
But like, let's say like Michael Chandler at this point in his mm-hmm. career, I feel like is doing well just because he's been up there. He's probably gone through the ringer, whether it was in Bellator, now in UFC. When it comes to endorsements, sponsorships, all of that, I feel like that's where you're making your big money. But on the actual fights itself, if you don't have anything and you're building yourself up, that's where it's difficult. That's rough.
You know what? I really am. I admire Michael Chandler's work ethic mm-hmm. and the way he promotes himself. It's honestly amazing. I think he's done great for his career. But there is that very few percentage, that do what he does. There's a lot of fighters that kind of just fight and they say, well, I just want to fight. And they don't see it as, because it is a business ultimately, and they don't see it as a business. And me personally, it's not only do I want to fight, but because it's my job, it is a business. So I try my best to promote myself authentically, and not just like, oh, hey, yeah, I fight this day,
Yeah.
It's just there's a reason why they're called one percenters.
Yeah.
Like the Ronda Rouseys, the Conor McGregors, the Charles Oliveira's, the Michael Chandlers. There's not very much that are marketable and great at what they do. There's just either good, entertaining athletes, but they're not marketable, or they're marketable, but they lose, therefore they don't move up too far.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I mean, it's almost another job within itself to market yourself and develop this character. That's what Conor did so well, right? It was more so his character than it was his actual in-octagon abilities as a fighter.
And I've been told, like, oh, well, what character are you gonna do? And I'm extremely grateful that I can just be myself right now. And I'm gonna continue to be myself. But I have grown a large fan base by just being me. I am vulnerable to my fans. I tell my fans my life experiences, and I tell my fans what I've gone through, and I hope that somebody could relate and take something from my experience and learn. And that's ultimately my goal in my career, where I've gone through a lot, and I just want to shed light to someone that's going through something as well. That doesn't matter how deep in a hole you are, you can still come out.
Yeah.
You can still come out victorious. So that's what I try to do with my fans, and I try to be authentic as I can, and I try to be real and honest, and not get the fame into my head. I have a great group of people that keep me grounded and remind me where I'm from. I come from, again, 2 immigrant parents, lived off of beans and rice, and just because I can go eat at a 5-star steak restaurant, I could also go eat at a plastic plate and have, some chicken and beans. So I'm extremely grateful for, again, the people around me, because they keep me grounded, and I haven't had to put on this fake persona for people to like me.
What would the teenage Tracy be if she got into, like, what if that was your persona now?
When I was a teenager?
Yeah.
God, so obnoxious. Obnoxious, just careless, reckless. I didn't even care, like, if I were to, like, live or die. I was putting myself in some fucked up situations. Like, I remember, I think I was, like, 16, and we're at the park. And don't do this. To anybody watching, don't do this, I was definitely hanging around with the wrong crowd. They weren't my age. They were older. And we're smoking weed, and in Maryville, it's like 59th Ave and McDowell, and then for some reason, like, you hit 75th Ave, and that's just a different territory. And we were, somebody from another neighborhood was driving by. They start shooting at us, and I didn't care. I was just like hiding behind the car. I could hear the bullets flying, and I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck, smoking my weed, like my joint. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And I was just tripping out, laughing. It ended. We booked it, got in the car, and we took off. But I was just reckless. Like, how crazy is that? And people see me, they're like, oh my God, you went through that? It's just like, yeah, dude. It's crazy. I know. It's crazy.
It's a unique backstory that not many people have, though. So, like, you're able to tell that story of where you were and how far you've come.
Yeah.
Plus everything else that you've been through. Like, not a lot of people, like you said, like, you can eat at a 5-star steakhouse, comfortably. But at the same time, like, I could do anything else. Where, like, some people, like the Conor McGregors of the world, I'm just assuming this, might look at that and be like, I'm better than this. I don't need to do that anymore.
Yeah,
I don't. Or he humbles himself like that.
Yeah, I don't know his character. I haven't met him like that, so I don't know if that's how he would, portray it, or if that's how he actually is or not. But I just know, for me personally, I have met certain people in the industry that think they, like, fame just gets to them, and it's and because of it, I don't build relationships with those people, just because where you came from. Us as fighters, we don't come with a luxury background. So for someone to to portray themselves as this celebrity. It's like, don't forget where you came from, bro.
Yeah.
You know, don't forget where you came from, and I stand by that. Where I continue to grow, but I love where I came from. Mm-hmm. But just because I love where I came from, don't mean I want to stay there.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm grateful again that my friends don't judge me for going from Maryville to Scottsdale. Mm-hmm. You know, from going to Scottsdale, I'm looking into buying another house. I'm looking into Fountain Hills. Mm-hmm. You know, and I just want to keep moving up. My people don't judge me. If anything, I want to lead the way where, if I can do it, you guys can do it too.
Yeah.
Like, let me bring you guys with me.
Exactly.
I'm not going to go move in this beautiful area and come visit you guys and kick it here and then be like, all right, y'all, I'm out. Mm-hmm. And then go live a luxury lifestyle. Like, I just can't live comfortably doing that. You know, I'm going to bring my people with me. Like, hey, what's your goals and ambitions? And now I have my best friend. He started his own business, and I'm so proud of him. And again, you are who you hang out with. And I'm trying to be and lead the way for those people that my friends and even the younger era in Maryville or anywhere here in Phoenix or any Latino or anybody that's just going through it and sees me as like, wow, she's amazing. It's like, no, I came from where you're at too.
Yeah.
You know, if I can do it, you can do it. Mm-hmm. And that's just that's my motto. If I can do it, you guys can do it. And I keep wanting better, and I'm blessed that I'm not being judged for it. Mm-hmm. You know, because that you'll be surprised.
Well, like, let's say you weren't necessarily, like, you didn't have, like, a circle to surround yourself with and be like, you guys are coming with me.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, we're all supportive, you know? Like, we saw you from here. We saw you from point A to point Z of how you got here. It's not just like, oh, she thinks she's the shit now because she just bought a place in Fountain Hills or, you know, like Estrella Foothills. That's a really nice area here.
Yeah.
I've seen, But, like, some people look at that and say, like, oh, they think they're too good for us now.
Yeah, no.
You don't really see it that way.
If anything, they're just so proud of me. Like, if they stop inviting me when they see me working and being productive and busy, they go, hey, let Tracy be on her grind. Like, she's, you know. And then I have to call them, like, yo, how come you guys haven't hit me up? And they'll, well, you're busy working. We don't want to distract you. Mm-hmm. And, like, how many friends could really do that, you know? Like, that's a blessing. Yeah. You know, to be able to have friends where they don't want to be a distraction, you know, and I don't know. I really appreciate that. And it kind of just hit me recently, actually. Recently it hit me that I'm blessed with a great crowd of people. Mm-hmm.
Because that could be a double-edged sword, too. You see you're not getting invited to stuff. You're just like, screw you guys.
Yeah,
like, I'm off doing my things. It's like, no, like, we're doing it intentionally because you're very intentional, and you've proven that.
Yeah, exactly. And it goes down to perspective. You know, I could be just ignorant and say, no, well, you guys don't invite me no more? Like, what? You know? Or, hey, you know what? Thank you guys for not inviting me. Like, I really appreciate it. You guys see me working, and I don't want to be distracted, or I don't want to feel bad saying no. So that's really a blessing.
Who's a relationship that you've had in your life where it was just tough letting go of because you had to focus on you and not necessarily like they didn't understand it too? Because we've talked about obviously relationships that didn't pan out, but there was understandings and you guys are going one way, they're going another way. Mm-hmm. Was there someone who just flat out did not get what you were trying to accomplish?
A good handful, but one that on the top of my head, you know, I'm not going to say her name, but she was my best friend. We grew up I want to say since 6th grade. And then recently, I want to say maybe like 3 years ago, 2 years, going on 3 years now. I recently cut her off 3 years ago. And I kind of just told her like, hey, I'm not judging you for the lifestyle you're living. Yeah. Right. By all means, cause I'm not one to judge, you know. But she was very content with where she was and how she was living and the drama. And my life is very drama free, you know. And I kind of told her, like, I love you, but I'm seeing myself become content as well. You know, I'm trying to. I want more for you, and it's bothering me that you don't want more for yourself. Yeah. So I can't want something more than you want something for yourself. So ultimately, we kind of just parted ways. And recently, we still, I mean, here and there, we'll text each other. But recently, she messaged me. She thanked me. She was like, "Hey, thank you for talking to me." And you were the first one to tell me, like, why don't you want more for yourself?
Yeah.
And because of me letting her go, she went and she got into cosmetology school, and she got a degree now, and she's about to open up her own business, and I'm just extremely proud of her too. But nevertheless, I had to cut that friendship off.
Yeah.
Of over a decade, so.
But it worked out for both of you in the end.
Yeah.
Not in the end.
And there's no hard feelings,
Yeah.
Like, if anything, I could still shoot her a message right now, be like, "Hey, how are the kids?" She got 2 kids. So I was like, "How are the kids?" And they're good and they're big. But, I mean, that's just kind of as far as it goes.
Yeah. When it comes to relationships, obviously we talked about personal standpoint. Professionally, when dealing with your team, your camps.
Oh, that's so different.
Is it like, do you put your trust solely into the people that are coaching you, or have you butted heads with anybody?
I have butted heads with somebody, a few people, because being a woman in a male industry, a male sport,
yeah,
it's extremely difficult because, I mean, let's be real here. They just see you as a piece of ass. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I've done the most to be respected in the gym, because you see girls come and go, like, "Oh, I'm a fighter," and
yeah,
but they're just looking to see who's the big name in there, And me personally, I've earned my respect as an athlete, and every guy in there respects me, and they don't cross the line with me. But it took years. I remember one time, I'm not gonna say his name, but OnlyFans just started. Right, and this was a few years ago, and they were new to the gym. They had just got there. They moved from California over here to Scottsdale, Fight Ready, where I train. And I promote myself, like, I'll take a picture, a selfie. "Hey, bro," to my brother, "take a picture of me." And someone said, "Oh, are you gonna post for your OnlyFans?" And I didn't know what it was at the time.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Let's just get that straight. I have nothing against it. But me personally, I don't need it, and I'm just not. I haven't done, anyways.
Yeah.
And I was like, OnlyFans? I go, what? And my brother was like, I'll take care of it. I go, no, hold on. What is an OnlyFans? I didn't know at the time. And he said, it's where girls, and he kind of explained it to me. Yeah. So I found that extremely disrespectful. Some might say, like, oh, it's just a joke. Me personally, again, it's like, I can't let a man disrespect me in my workplace. So I waited. He went inside the sauna, and I sat right outside of the men's restroom waiting for him to come out. And finally I go, "Hey, so-and-so." I go, "Hey, can you call what's his name out here?" They're like, "Okay." And they immediately knew. He came out. He goes, "Hey, Tracy, man, I just want to apologize." I go, no, hold on. You don't have to apologize. I go, "It's okay. But let me tell you something. Don't you ever fucking disrespect me like that again. Especially, this is a gym to you." I go, "This is my work environment." Mm-hmm. I go, "I'm a professional athlete. You don't disrespect me. I'm promoting myself. You should probably do the same for yourself." And he kind of, "No, it's all right. I'm sorry." And after that, they kind of just like, "Damn, Tracy's like professional."
Yeah.
So because I train with all men, I do have to keep a certain line, of respect. Because if not, I'm a woman. I don't want to be disrespected. I'm already, men already just disrespect me online as it is. Mm-hmm. I want to be in a good, healthy work environment. And I can't do that if I'm constantly being seen as just a piece of meat.
Yeah.
So.
Was he joking, or was he assuming that's what you were doing?
I think I don't know. I don't know if he was assuming or joking or not. Nevertheless, he crossed that line for me, my boundaries. And ever since, he's been nothing but respectful. "Hey, Tracy, how are you?" Dasmia, "Hey, good job, girl." He's the biggest hype man in the gym.
That's good.
So now like I said, it took years to gain my respect as an athlete and not just a piece of meat that happens to train with the guys.
When you look at other females that you train with or that are at the gym that you mentioned, that'll just come through and be like, "Hey, I'm a fighter," whatever.
Yeah, there's been a handful.
Are there just a ton that just
come and go. They come and go. You know, and I am for the most part the only girl in my gym. I have to fly girls in to train with me when I get into camp because there's no girls there. So I'll fly like 2 girls out per camp, and they'll stay with me, or we'll get them a hotel or something.
Wow.
Yeah. I train with all men. They don't give a fuck. They go hard with me too.
But then again, growing up with 3 older brothers, 2 of which got into it. Yeah. Like it's kind of like second nature. Like you know what you're doing. You know how to handle yourself.
And I also vibe now that they see me as, or now that they respect me, right? And they don't try to cross a certain boundary with me. Now it's like family, you know. They're like, oh, Tracy's little sister. Or recently someone told me, they're like, damn, Tracy, I want to be where you're at. Yeah. And I was just so taken back, like, what? You know, that was a beautiful thing to hear. Where it's like, yeah, dude, you're like the little sister, but you're leading the way for all of us, and all of us is all the men. And I was in awe, like, damn.
Like those are probably the moments where you're like, this is what makes it all worth it.
Yes,
at the end of the day.
You know, yeah. Whereas like, this is why I am the way I am. This is why I carry myself the way I do. And you go to the gym, everyone vouches for me. Like, oh, new guys come in and they'll be like, hey, who's that? And recently one of the guys were like, oh, bro, you don't want to fuck with her. Yeah. Like, let her be, don't fuck with her. Yeah. Like, she's working. And they don't get it. And I got to just check these motherfuckers. Like, hey, excuse me? Like, do you not see what I'm working right now? And they're just, guys are kind of like, oh, sorry. And I was like, it's cool. Just.
What are they doing?
They'll try to hit on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll try to hit on me.
At the gym? I hate that.
Yeah. Especially because that's like my comfort zone. Yeah. You know, that's my, like, I don't want to say like my sanctuary, but that's where, like, don't do it. You guys, if you see a girl training at the gym, just leave her alone. Yeah. Leave her alone.
Especially if they're legitimately training. Yeah. Because, like, in all fairness, there are people who are there to flirt with people. But you can pick up on them pretty easily.
But you know what, though? I can't remember the last time I worked out at, like, a normal gym, like EOS. Or what's another one?
Like 5 Star Fitness.
Yeah. Or Alley Fitness. Or, you know, like.
Gold's Gym.
I don't even know when that was the last time I trained in any of those gyms. I have everything I need at Fight Ready or my strength and conditioning place. But I do miss it. I remember not that long ago, I went to, what is it called? Just a regular gym right by my house. It's called Independence. And I was working. I was like, man, this is a good, like, it's just a different vibe, you know? And it was nice. It was really nice. But again, guys were just there, and I was like, it's kind of uncomfortable. Yeah. I
honestly am shocked to hear that, especially in your line of work, because I feel like everybody's just an animal in one way or another, like as a fighter. Like, I wouldn't want to mess with anybody. Like, you're there to work. You're there to build yourselves up and your careers up. Like, I wouldn't even think of, like, oh, like, guys, girls. Like, you're focused on one thing.
Well, I mean, you know, well, here's the thing. Like, it's a male-dominant sport, right? So guys are having guy talk, and then here I come walking around, and it's just like, you guys stop. Not you necessarily, but like the guys at the gym, right? Yeah. And it's just like they go from like bros talking about whatever bros talk about to, okay, we gotta shut the fuck up because there's girls here now. Yeah. Me or another girl that happens to be there, whatever. So it's just, I don't know. It's one of those things where now it's a good balance. You know, everyone's respect. It's almost like a family. It's almost like a family, where before it wasn't. It was just like, hey, I don't know. I don't want to speak too much on it, but it was uncomfortable for a little bit.
Who do you think kind of broke that barrier? You saying it's a male-dominated sport? Because there's a lot of females that have broken through certain barriers, not only just in the UFC, but in MMA in general. Yeah. Who do you look at as a non-UFC fan? What do you look at, you know, a specific fighter that really broke through?
Well, someone immediately, like, and I think everyone would agree to this, is Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
You know, she paved the way for us. And Misha Tate, Gina Carano, you know, they fought on Strikeforce, and they were doing it before any of us. You know, they really paved the way, and now the talent is insane. There's Joanna, there's Holly Holm, there's me.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So it's the sport has grown a lot. Has grown a lot. And I hear all the time, like, well, I'll prefer watching a woman that knows how to fight over a guy.
Yeah.
Because girls do throw down.
Mm-hmm.
Girls throw down. Like, we go in there, I don't want to say to prove a point, but kind of to prove a point, if that makes sense. You know?
Yeah. What's more difficult? I'm trying to phrase this. Like, what's more difficult, losing a fight or training your ass off for a fight only to be told that, A, someone didn't make weight, injury popping up? Because I know you were supposed to fight in December and things escalated and popped up. Is that more frustrating almost than taking a loss?
That is frustrating. Because at least if you fought and you lost, you could always go back and say, what do we need to work on?
Yeah.
Rather than I put all this time and energy into a camp and now there's no fight for X, Y, and Z. It's just frustrating because it was, I don't want to say a waste of time, but kind of is.
Yeah.
All the time, energy, money.
Because it's just gone at that point.
Yeah,
like, there's
it's
no
like,
reschedule
all right,
or anything like that.
No, it's all right. Well, we just wasted, not even waste because you grew, but 6-7 weeks of a camp. All right, let's rest for 2 weeks and then let's get back to it.
Yeah.
And it's just it is frustrating.
Yeah.
It is frustrating. I don't want to say it's happened to me, but like I think it was in Abu Dhabi. I was supposed to fight someone, and they backed out They didn't back out. They got injured last minute, and I got so frustrated because I was preparing. I prepared for that one individual for 7 weeks.
Yeah.
And then they gave me a new opponent, and it's like, okay, everything I worked on is just out the window. I don't know this person's style, but I got to fight her. And they kind of just throw a new girl in there. I won, but nevertheless, it is a frustrating.
Yeah.
You know, where I'm just like, fuck, all right. And then the worst part is you can't let it get to your head.
Yeah. Is there a specific fighter that you want to fight based on styles that you think you'd match well against?
Right now, you know, I think the competitiveness in me is I would love to take on, for the most part, whoever they throw at me. But realistically, my preparation when I am in camp, it's okay. I'm getting ready to fight the champ. You know, and I have this person in front of me, but this preparation for these next 6 weeks is preparing me for this belt.
Right.
That's kind of how I see it.
Yeah.
And that's why I push myself the way that I do. Where it's okay. This is just a step for me to get here. What am I gonna do in these next 7 weeks?
Yeah.
To not only beat this person, but know that if they say, hey, instead of this person, you're now fighting the champ. You know what I mean? So, like, if stylistically, realistically, with a well-prepared camp, I think I could take on the champ. I know I can take on the champ. I know I have what it takes.
How many fights, realistically, do you think that you'd have to win moving forward in order to... Because you'd have to be... Number two would be number one contender, and then they're number one. So how many fights, realistically, do you think...
I see myself within the next 4 fights, and that would be about a year and a half. So if all goes well, and it will, I know it will, you know, and I'm going to say this here right now, by 2024, I will be a champ. I know it. 2024, I'm going to be a champ.
So that's a year and a half. That's four wins, pending that you come away from those fights not completely, but close to pretty much like you're in good fighting shape.
As long as I'm not, and nothing's broken or torn, I'll be fine. A black eye, a bruise, something, you know, I'll be fine. I've had black eyes. You know, I have had a busted lip. As long as nothing's broken and I don't need surgery, knock on wood, and I don't have any torn limbs, like, I know in a year and a half I could be a champion.
And what's that going to mean to you looking back,
So
like
exciting.
full? Because like goosebump moment, right?
Yeah.
Just even talking about it. I
Yeah.
can't wait to cut that up a year and a half from now too.
Yeah, you know, it's a scary realization because success is scary. You know?
Oh yeah, you want it your entire life, and then when it's given to you, you don't know what to do with it.
Some people don't know. Some people literally choke. You're like, why are they not performing the way they normally do? It's because they don't, the pressure. And me, I thrive under pressure. I love, give it to me. You know what I mean? The more pressure, granted, I get extremely emotional because I dig deep.
Yeah.
I dig deep.
So it makes you
for my
feel
fights.
alive.
Yes. So I thrive under pressure. When someone's saying that this fight should be a headline or this or that, or you deserve to be here, the way they promote me, it's like, yes, this is what I deserve. This is why I work so hard for. Give me more pressure, give me more spotlight so I could thrive. So I can shut everybody up.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And when I get there, I know come 2024 and my time comes to fight for that belt, I know I'm going to win. I just know I am. I've came too far. So
And why stop now?
No, I'm not going to stop. And people think, you know, that's just another pretty face, and it's like, pretty face or not, motherfuckers, I'm 11-1. You know, I've gone undefeated since my last loss.
Yeah.
You know, that's a fact. That's not.
It's 11 straight W's. So that ain't easy in this sport.
No, it's not easy, and I take pride in that. And everyone's like, "Well, are you scared? Is there more pressure to take a loss?" It's like, yeah, that's a fact. I've gone undefeated since my last loss, since my pro debut loss, but I don't dwell. I don't sit in that victory. You know, if once I win, all right, I don't even consider that a victory anymore. What's next? I want what's next. You know, give me the next win. I want to feel that again. I don't sit here and celebrate longer than I should. Yeah. Because that's how people get, complacent, and not me.
Do you think it's going to be...
Damn, I came in here hungry today.
Yeah, I know, right? These are the conversations I love, though, because like you want it so bad. Yeah. Once you get there, what do you think is going to be more difficult, the climb to the top of the mountain or staying at the top of the mountain?
I think the climb is always difficult. The climb because, life. Yeah. Life happens. And if someone doesn't have the willpower to take life head on, and I mean life, where it's losses, family problems, sickness, financial life. Yeah. Everyone goes through life. Mm-hmm. And some people have what it takes to take it head on, and some people, I don't want to say coward and just kind of don't move, but they don't have what it takes. And me personally, I think the climb is going to be a struggle, but I've already went through the worst in my life. I lost my brother, I lost my mom, I lost loved ones. What is life going to throw at me? Mm-hmm.
When did you get the tattoos? Because obviously the one of your mom's relatively new. Yes. Or then obviously Jose on the shoulder. Mm-hmm. Or in the Yankee hat, which is awesome. And then you got the UFC logo too. Yeah.
What are the odds? I wasn't even considered, fighting was not even in my mind. Mm-hmm. When I got this tattoo. And now I'm in the UFC and I have a fucking UFC shirt tattooed on me. You know what I mean?
Right. That's kind of like one of those full circle things where it's like, wow, it was like kind of like unscripted destiny.
Yeah, it really is. But I got this after my brother passed away. Mm-hmm. This was my first tattoo. It was, my mom was there with me at the time. I think I was 17, turning 18. And I got this done. It's not even done yet. My tattoo artist wants to touch it up because he's embarrassed, which I need to get it done. And then I got this one, I want to say maybe like 2 years after my mom passed away. He did such a great job. Looks identical to my mom. I took that photo too. And then these flowers are my mom's originally last name, it's Tracy Rosas Cortez. Tracy Rosas Cortez. So the rose is like, for me, symbolizes, including the lines, like my roots.
Yeah.
My roots, my family, and this is just an important piece for me, and I can't wait to finish it.
Are you a big tattoo person, or did you only want things that obviously had meaning to you?
Yeah, I only have things that are meaning to me.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't have, I have one that I got being a rebel. Yeah, I have lips on my butt.
Nice. Nice.
And that was just me being.
That is a rebel tattoo.
That is a rebel tattoo. And I think that's probably the only one. Yeah.
It's funny because some people will get like touch-ups and be like, maybe I should get a sleeve. And then they're like, maybe around the shoulder. And then they can't stop.
Well, I have a baby one on my neck. It says, no te rindas. It means never quit. And it's just a little reminder. And everyone's like, well, we can't read it. It's not meant for you to read. It's for me. It's my reminder. Mm-hmm. In the moments where I feel like life is just getting heavy, it's like, no te rindas. You're like, don't quit. You're going to be okay. Mm-hmm. You've gone through the worst. Look down. You're good. Mm-hmm. That's just my little reminders.
Well, I'm excited for you this next year and a half. Hopefully I see you fighting for the title as a number one contender.
You will. I'm saying this right here, right now. You will. Guarantee you will.
And the last thing I wanted to talk to you about, probably like completely shifting gears here, but we talked about it before we came on a little bit, just because it is recent news with Dana White and everything surrounding him. You know? And it's just like very probably frustrating on both ends for people to see what happened, as well as for him, because it's just like an embarrassing thing. And his wife, obviously. So like what I'm talking about is Dana White getting into the physical altercation with his wife on New Year's Eve. Even she's gone on record being like, we've been married for 30 years. Like, it just like came out like, there's nothing about it. But obviously it's a bad look. It's a bad look for Dana White, who's been an advocate against hitting women, arguably his entire, on-air career, being in the public eye. But it's still something that if one of his fighters did that, right?
Yes.
There'd be punishment.
Wasn't there? Oh, yes, there was one. John Jones.
Of course.
In Vegas. Did you guys see that?
Of course.
And that was just a big no-no at the time. But, no one ever knows. If they've been together for, what'd you say?
Like 30 years. That's 3 decades.
No one ever knows what's going on behind closed doors. I'm not saying that he abuses her, and I don't know his personal life. I just know Dana White, to me, has been nothing but kind, Is my opinion on hitting a woman? No. You don't put hands on a woman, Me personally, I've been in a physical altercation with men outside of the sport, and it's not fun. It's fucked up. But being raised by all men, I can't help but put myself in a man's shoe, and it's like, as a woman, me being a woman, I'm not gonna go and hit a man first.
Yeah. I
just don't put my hands up. Why? Because that's a man. I'm gonna get my fucking ass beat. Mm-hmm. There's a respect there. Now there's alcohol involved, and it's it tends to get things. Alcohol changes people's character sometimes. So I think it's wrong on both parties, and I'm no one to judge. Yeah. I don't see him as any less of who he is or her. So that's just my perspective on it.
Yeah. And it's a very valid perspective, too. Yeah. You look at both sides of that. The thing that kind of wraps my head around is, like, I think you really, whether it be suspend, fire, X, Y, and Z, what he would do to one of his fighters. Because John Jones obviously suspended countless times for countless different reasons. But, like, as a leader, someone who's been an advocate against that, and then, like, you have to do something to show that you're a leader, right? Yeah. As opposed to...
Well, you know what, though? He also took accountability.
Yeah.
A lot of people tend to forget that, where it's like, you know what? I fucked up. I shouldn't have done it. Point blank. And that goes a long way in my book, where it's like, okay, you know what? You saw you're wrong, and that's that. But, I mean, everybody... It's a touchy subject for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
Including for myself, but that's just my honest opinion, where I think they're both in the wrong, and the way they choose to handle it on the business side has nothing to do with me. I just know that I'm focused on my career.
Yeah.
And maybe that's wrong of me. I don't know, but I stay in my own lane in life.
You always have. It served you well to this point.
Yeah, it has. It really has.
What's the post-fight Joe Rogan interview look like when you win the title in 2024?
Mama, I told you, we made it. That was gonna be no, I don't know. First and foremost, I'll probably just thank God.
Yeah.
You know, I'll thank him, the man above, because without him, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's on everything I love. Like, I've gone through a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone through a lot of shit, and to still be able to be doing what I'm doing and here where I'm at in life, like, technically, I was supposed to end up 17 and pregnant. You know, high school dropout. And I'm right here living a life I never thought I would.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're preaching it into existence, and one day it'll manifest. So I appreciate.
I get so emotional just thinking about it. Oh my God!
Right?
Jeez,
you talk about it out loud, and all of a sudden it's like it's go time.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming in. I know you're a very busy person with everything that you got going on. We can follow you at Cortez MMA.
Mm-hmm. Cortez MMA on Instagram, and Twitter's Tracy Cortez MMA.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming in, Tracy. This was episode 610 of the podcast, guys. Check it out.